so the strategy you've mentioned you want to incorporate in your class is think, pair, share. And so we've looked at this, or I have this checklist for us for incorporating think, pair, share. And you said you wanted to use this one because you're trying to get your students to be more involved and do their, sort of make it more their learning as opposed to you just throwing information at them. So the important thing with think, pair, share is making sure the students understand how the process works. So if you look at this checklist, and you can just read it, it's make sure they know who their partner is before, even if it's not the person like in their group, who are they going to go talk to afterwards? And then exactly what is the thinking process, exactly what are they doing? And then how much time will they have on the activity? That way they know if they're wasting too much time, make sure they can get all the information before they move on. And that they will use all the time they're doing to think and write about their response. They don't take the first 10 minutes, get kind of an answer, and then sit there the next 10 or whatever minutes. The outcome they need to produce for the class, what did you want them to do at the end of the conversation, and then how they should communicate with each other. So this is the basic checklist for think, pair, share. Now I know you're going to be using it in a math class, so is there anything on here that you think needs to be edited or changed based on the lesson you have in mind? You said you're going to use it for graphing, where like they try to discover it on their own. So is there anything in here that you would change based on being a math class as opposed to a writing class?
I don't think so. I mean, we normally have them in groups of 3.
Okay.
So I need to put them in 4.
If you have them in groups of 3, so if you have your activity, you said was going to be like there's like 4 parts to it, because it's like 2 different types of shifts, and then rotation, whatever.
Yeah.
So if you have them in groups, you could do them in groups of 3 and have like, if you have 8 groups, have the odd groups look at 1 and 2, and the even groups look at 3 and 4, and then you can take them in those groups. That way they're not alone trying to discover it. Yeah. And then you can, from those groups, mix them back up again, as long as they know who that second person is they're going to, or the second group that they're going to. Yeah. That way, because it could be group work. I know not every class is like the exact even number where you can.
You have 4, so you're going to keep yours with 4.
Yes.
I might do that.
In mine is I will have mine with 4, and some of them I'm going to shove together so they can be in 4s. Yes.
I know that.
In 4s. So when I model this for you, and you just said you're just going to come into my room and watch it, I'm going to have them 4, and since I already have these tables made, I'm going to have the ones from this side of the table move to the next group. Okay. So that way there's 4 of them that get you to discover it together. I have some really low learners in that class and really high learners, so I have them paired up where those are together. Yeah. So the higher ones can help the lower ones all come up with what they're going to say, what they learned, and then this side will all just move to the next table over, and then the 1 and 2 will go to the 3 and 4 part, and then they can share it to each other. Okay. Okay. All right. So how do you want them to? So here's what they said. So it's the outcome they need to produce. Are you gonna have like a chart that you want them to fill out?
Yeah, there's with the graphing, they will have to look it up on Desmos. There's questions they're sharing and thinking about. I don't think, and then we have homework to go with it.
So the outcome would be filling out the chart, right? Yeah. So yeah, it would be fill out the chart, make sure they fill out the chart, right? Mm-hmm. And have answered the question. Yes.
Let me check that. Probably walking around like we do a whole lot of.
Yeah, and you can have them where when their group, when they think they have a good answer, you can have them like raise their hands like if you have them in groups, you'll have a smaller amount to check. You can just check for one of the group, collectively and not every single kid individually. Yeah. All right. Well, then I will see you tomorrow when I'm modeling for you.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right. So everyone has their packet. They know where they're at, right? Okay. So if you are in the odd number group, so by 1, 3, 5, and 7, you are just going to be doing 4 and 5. So you will just be looking at this page. In your groups, you got to make sure you fill in all these questions. You're looking at Desmos. You're going through. Make sure you understand. Don't just put down a random answer. You are sharing this with someone else, so you are in charge of their learning, so make sure you actually know it. My even groups, 2, 4, 6, and 8, you'll be looking at 6 and 7. So I need you to make sure that you know what's going on here, talk amongst your group. If you're not quite sure on your own, you have those people that'll help you out. You will have 10 minutes to do this activity. In those 10 minutes, make sure you have everything filled out. If you have questions, you can ask each other, you can ask me, but make sure you know what's going on. If you get done with this part in less than 10 minutes, on your extra sheet of paper, I want you to start writing down what you're going to tell your other group. None of you are teachers, so this might be a new thing for you. So if you have it written down in front of you, it might make you feel more comfortable. Either write down the main points you want to say, write down those math vocabulary words we want to use. If you want to go ahead and write it all out in sentences, you can write the whole thing out and you can just read it to the other group if you're nervous about talking. That way you feel more comfortable sharing information. Once you have that 10 minutes is up, then we're all going to switch. If you're on the left side of your table, you'll be moving to the next table up. And you know how they go 1 through 8. 8, you're going to come down here to number 1 because there's no one above you. You will then, in that group, whoever is 5 and 6 is going to talk first, because those are our first 2 problems. If you have any questions and that's not your section, this is where you ask questions. My odd number tables of 5 and 6, don't just let them copy the answers. That's not learning anything. You need to explain to them how they're actually doing this. Then once they are done, then my 6 and 7 people are going to do the same thing back. If you have questions, ask questions. They are teaching this to each other, so make sure you understand what each other is saying. All right? Any questions? Now that you've got to see me model the lesson, do you have any questions about how this works?
Yeah. Because like 4 and 5, or your odd groups are doing 4 and 5. Mm-hmm. Your even groups are doing 6 and 7. Mm-hmm. But then once your odd groups do 4 and 5, they're going to explain what they got to 6 and 7?
Yes. So because their second group is 6 and 7, there will be 2 people from 4 and 5 that go pair with 2 people from 6 and 7. Okay. So then the 4 and 5 pair will explain to the 6 and 7. And then the 6 and 7 pair will explain 6 and 7 to 4 and 5.
And at that point, do those kids understand that they've been divided in?
Yes, but that would probably be an important thing to reiterate.
To tell them
how are they going to communicate, make sure they use vocabulary, but also, as they're communicating with you, make sure you fill in that information.
So everybody, by the time they've shared,
yes,
the evens and the odds should all have everything.
They should all have the information, yes.
Okay, all right. What's that? I think we talked about these are a little harder, but they're shorter. Mm-hmm.
So one of the important parts of thinking and sharing is make sure the groups all have about an even amount of work. Mm-hmm. So because you're giving them a certain amount of time, you want everyone to use up that all amount of time without needing more time.
Right.
So because of, even though this looks like more work on the page, it's an easier concept for the kids to grasp. So it should even out about with the shorter looking work but harder concept.
Right. What do you think about easy, hard for the evens, easy, hard for the odds?
As long as, because these are like right, left, up, down, as long as the kids, if you think your kids can make this point on their own, make sense.
Without seeing this one.
Because since these 2 kind of relate together, these 2, I think they could be like, oh, well, outside made them relate with that is up and down, right, up in the X one is up and down.
Right.
Down, right, left, right, left.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So as you pair things up and things there, make sure how you pair them, the kids will be able to get all the information, all the comparisons you want them to, so that they can share that to their partners.
Right, to their partners. All right.
Because I did originally look at it.
Then we talked about when they all have it, we're going around checking individually. Are you going to display all the answers at the end so they have like a key knowing they got it right in case there's that 3 kids that didn't do it or that we thought did it?
So with the think, pair, share is they kind of think about their own, which is like when they're doing their own, and then they pair up and share with each other. But then I'm going to have them share out loud. So from our new groups, I'm going to make 6 and 7 explain the 5 and the 4 and 5.
Okay.
And then the 4 and 5 explain 6 and 7. It will not be every single kid in the room will talk, but that way they can make sure they can explain things that the other kids told them.
Okay.
And then in that we'll be able to fill in all. At which point, I will have my version, and they will fill in all of it together.
Okay.
All right. So you said you'll be teaching this Next week,
Monday, Tuesday.
Monday, Tuesday, so I can come in on Tuesday,
Then planning.
during my planning period, and I can come in and watch how it works in your class, and that way we can talk about how you implement it, anything you wanna change after that, what you thought about it, and we can do that.
Good, you can help me do it.
Alright, perfect, I can do
You help
that.
me run this.
That's perfect, that's definitely, we can just go do that, that'll
Okay.
work.
That'd be good.
Alright,
Alright.
thanks.